To those unfamiliar with Centralia, Pennsylvania, it is best known as the town that inspired Silent Hill. It all started in the 60s, when it was discovered that the quiet, coal-mining mountain town had a fire raging underneath its streets. By the late 80s, almost all of the town's residents had left behind their homes in a thick fog. With imagery like that, it's easy to see how it could inspire such a feeling of terror. Some people began to call the town the American Chernobyl, comparing the sudden abandonment of each and the eerie, unsafe, apocalyptic nature of the two towns. But unlike Chernobyl, which has been left virtually untouched and totally uninhabited for decades, some residents refused to leave Centralia. According to the U.S. Census conducted in 2010, there were still a total of 10 residents residing within the limits of the town. Knowing all of this, I made my way to the mountains of eastern Pennsylvania, fully expecting to run into untold terrors. The drive was tense. The leaves were falling, and the wind blew harsh on that brisk autumn day. At every stop for fuel, I could imagine the shrill voice of an elderly gas clerk urging me not to complete my trek. "The town's too dangerous," he would say. "The place is haunted." But such warnings were never given. My final fill-up was only miles from the town. By this point, I was annoyed that no one had sought me out for a warning, so I put the pressure on the attendant. "You know much about Centralia?" "Yeah, just keep heading straight down this road. There's some signs. Can't miss it." Annoyed by his lack of theatrics, I pressed on. After driving for a few more minutes, I felt a creeping dread. A looming sense of something wrong filled the air. Not because Centralia was nearing, but because I suddenly realized I had driven several miles past it. I saw signs in my rear view stating the town was ahead and knew I had to turn around. So I did, but found only the municipal building. Where's everything else? I thought. That's when I set out to explore. The only things in Centralia were the following: a church at the top of the hill with a graveyard in the rear, this old double wide with nothing in it, this decrepit radio tower, these bones, and this very nice view. And that's it, I swear. The only other thing of note was the abandoned highway. It was closed down because LOL American infrastructure, but it was rebuilt slightly to the left, so it doesn't matter. It was sort of neat to see what 30 years and uneven substrate will do to a road, but the experience was ruined by rednecks with rattle cans and country bros on quad bikes. Toward the bottom of the mountain, I saw some smoke through the trees, but was unable to capture footage. Some said there still exists a town down there, looming in the fog, but it was getting too dark for me to explore past all the no trespassing signs. Plus, I looked it up on Google Maps. There's nothing there. The whole experience was bizarre. It wasn't really spooky and nothing like Silent Hill. I'd compare it to being told by Smash Mouth's manager that you can interview them, and then they back out as you're going backstage. You know, to use an analogy or something. If you're thinking of visiting Centralia, here's the best question to ask yourself. Do you like hiking through the woods, bumping into tourists just as confused as you, and listening to the constant whir of off-road vehicles? If you answered yes, the Smokies are prettier. Go there. I did get lost for a bit, though. That was kind of like Silent Hill, I guess.